Hello everybody, this is Gretchen Heidel and I'm here tonight on Facebook Live talking to everybody about this week, the energy of April 26th, the week of April 26th, and we have a lot of energy. There's a lot of stuff getting downloaded this week, and welcome to everybody that's joining. I'm Gretchen Heidel, and professional astrologer, life coach, master hypnotherapist, and Reiki practitioner. And so I am here talking today about the astrology, and we have a doozy. We have a triple conjunction this week coming in Taurus. Now, one of the things already kind of happened yesterday on Sunday, but it doesn't matter. This whole week into next week actually is going to be highlighted by this triple conjunction in Taurus. So if you are just joining me tonight live, please comment below, say hi, tell me your astrological sign. I'd love to hear everybody's sign that is joining. And it is interesting, sometimes when I talk about earth signs, then a lot of people that are earth signs are watching or whatever. So it's just kind of interesting to see the different signs. I am going to be also discussing the quarter moon that's going to be coming, our first quarter lunar cycle, and that'll be actually in the sign of Leo. So we have a little fire signs going on too. So we have earth and fire going on. So welcome everybody that's joining me live, and oh, we have a Capricorn, first Capricorn. Hello, Miss Layla, how you doing? Lots of energy going on right now for sure. So let's get started. So basically, so just to give you, there's 3 dates. Now, whenever I give people dates, it literally means it's the peak of it, but remember, there's a whole process with all of this. Hello, Miss Jody, Miss Scorpio, welcome. There's a process with this where we're walking up the mountain as we go and we approach the transit, and then we get to the peak of the mountain, and then we come down off of the mountain. So, you know, that process takes time. So when I give these specific dates like 3:33 a.m., you know, it means that I'm talking about that's the minute we're at the very top, but it's not describing the entire full cycle, that it takes a while to get to the top and then it takes a while to come back down from the bottom. Wow, we have a lot of Scorpios tonight. Adam is a Scorpio, Jody is Scorpio. Gloria, Cancer, so that's another water sign. So we got a lot of water signs. We're going to be talking a lot about earth and water are kind of besties, so that's a good thing. Yes, Layla, living the dream. I had a friend of mine once say that she did this little social experiment, and people would say, "Hi, how are you?" And she'd say, "Living the dream." And people would either go, "Oh yeah, I know what you mean," or they would go, "Wow, me too. I'm totally living my dream." So it's kind of funny when you say living the dream. It's kind of up to the person's interpretation of what that would mean. So it's kind of interesting. Here we go. We got a Capricorn. We have a Virgo. Catherine, hello, welcome. So they're the earth signs. And so we have a lot going on in the earth sector, the earth realm of Taurus. And it's all going to be in the early degrees there of Taurus. Like 5, 6, 7 degrees. We're all going to be hovering around those early degrees of Taurus, which means if you were born in the beginning of Taurus, you're going to feel this extra. You guys are getting the direct hit. And then the rest of us, you know, kind of go off from there. We have another fire sign, Sagittarius, Hans. Welcome, Hans. Good to see you. And Adam, his wife, is also Scorpio. Wow, we have it's a lot of Scorpionic energy. So the opposite of Taurus is actually Scorpio. So we have a little bit of a thing with you guys. There's a little compatibility issue in some ways with Scorpio and Taurus. So yesterday, when I give the peak, I'm going to give you the peak of these sort of things, but it sort of doesn't matter because it's active all week. But just so you know, it'll be extra active on those days. So yesterday we had the sun was conjunct Uranus in Taurus, 5:01 a.m. Then Thursday, and that will be on April 30th, year 2000. We have Mercury conjunct Uranus, and that's going to be 11:41 p.m. And then I have to pull up my calendar there. And then on Monday, on May 4th, so next Monday night when I come back on and talk to y'all, that's I've been doing every Monday night around 8:50, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. I've been joining you guys. So next Monday on May 4th, Also, the sun will be conjunct Mercury in Taurus, and that's going to be at 5:41 p.m. Eastern time. A lot of energy. It's just like all three of those planets at once, and just Mercury and Uranus coming together. So they're the live wires of the zodiac. I nicknamed those two the live wires of the zodiac. So we have a lot of energy, just Mercury and Uranus, and then you're sticking the sun in the middle of all that. And the sun is a lot of energy. I mean, hello, solar power, okay? So we have a lot of energy all being downloaded, which of course can be translated as positive stuff, okay, brilliant ideas and lots of downloads and lots of dreams potentially. This is a lot of dream stuff. Our dreams are going to be ramped up, and yes, this was already active last weekend into this week. I actually talked about this on my last Monday night video, trying to get you guys prepared for this. Amir, hello, welcome. Taurus, moon in Sag and ascendant Cancer, looks like. Awesome. Carrie, Aries with Virgo rising. I love all these signs. It's great. So we have a lot of this stuff going to be happening. So what does this mean? It's a lot of Taurus energy. Taurus energy is earth energy, earthy, practical, and just Taurus alone is pretty darn grounded, which would normally be great, except for you have these kind of like almost like hyperactive planets that are being plugged into that grounded sort of energy. So we need some grounding for sure. Uranus specifically is lightning bolts and electricity, and Mercury, Mercury is the winged messenger. So that's communication and travel. And how do we communicate nowadays? Through technology, through these phones, through the internet and all that stuff. So it often has an electrical component to Mercury. And then the sun is the giver of life. It powers up everything. It powers up plants. It powers up everything. And so and solar power, right? So these are three very powerful. Now, they're not necessarily what I would call negative. Uranus has a reputation for being not as positive as the other two. Mercury retrograde, yeah, that can be kind of a negative thing, I guess. But the sun is usually quite powerful and quite positive. Mercury can be pretty positive if used wisely, and then Uranus is like 50-50. And I'll talk about Uranus in a second. This week, Uranus is very highlighted. Okay, so Sunday was Sun conjunct Uranus. Thursday is Mercury conjunct Uranus. Uranus is very, very highlighted, which means that we're going to have surprises, unexpected events. Things come out of nowhere. Now, I always say you can surprisingly win the lottery. That would be a nice surprise, right? Hello, everybody that's just joining. Like and share. And I love to hear your astrological sign. So please say hi, post below. I love to hear how everybody's doing. We have a lot of energy that was happening. Last weekend we had Pluto went retrograde. So there was a lot of energy over the weekend. I'm wondering how everybody was dealing or feeling with all that, because whenever we get Pluto's pretty hardcore, it's like shadow self and stuff. But now we're getting into Uranus, and Uranus is unexpected events. It's earthquakes, it's tremors. Uranus can also cause weird things in the body, which can be spasms, anything with an electrical disorder sort of thing. So it can be migraines, headaches, it can be seizures, it can be shaking, tremors, all that kind of stuff. And so I personally have a heart arrhythmia that I've had it for, 12 years now or something, and I'm feeling my heart arrhythmia started just yesterday. I'm having little blips and lots of palpitations and things. And here's the interesting thing. There's something called geocentric lines. So basically it's kind of like the line of where the planet is kind of like affecting specifically where it's like over on the Earth. I have a little thing here. It looks like an orb. And the geocentric lines run over certain locations. It's sort of where the longitude and latitude is in reference to the planet and all that, and that creates a geocentric line. Guess what? All of this is happening over New York, Vermont, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Maine. Okay, so I know a lot of my audience, since I'm based in Vermont, is from Vermont, but obviously there's a lot of people on here that are not. But a lot of my audience is in New England, in the United States, and it's affecting us directly. It's over us, specifically over us. So we're going to be feeling, if you're at all on the East Coast, but especially the New England states, because it kind of runs like this over New England. So it doesn't run like this, like perpendicular. It's running kind of like diagonal. And I am going to post a snapshot when I'm done with this broadcast so you guys can see the lines. And they're all three converging closer and closer and closer together throughout the week. So right now, Mercury is sort of over like Albany and New York City. That's where the line is running, is like Albany and New York City. And the other two lines, which is Uranus and the Sun, they're kind of out sort of like over Maine. They're Quebec City, okay, above us in Canada, Quebec City, and like that little tip of Rhode Island there. And then it kind of goes out to sea, but it doesn't matter because literally there's like 100-mile or 200-mile bubble around these lines. So if you feel, you're going to feel it all pretty much on the East Coast of the United States. So it's big, and we can get this for sure brings about storms, power outages. I've seen this happen where it kind of like blows, different types of power companies and internet things going down and all kinds of stuff on the East Coast. It'll be very interesting to see how that comes about. But we have a lot of electrical energy active. In fact, I am anticipating getting a lot of calls going, Gretchen, is Mercury retrograde right now? Because my computer crashed, my printer crashed, and this crashed, and that crashed. Yes, it's not a Mercury retrograde, but it's going to possibly feel a little bit like a Mercury retrograde. There might be some miscommunications. That's another thing. Hi, Robin. Welcome. Gemini. Woohoo. So Gemini, the ruler of Gemini is Mercury. We're talking about your ruler tonight, Robin. And so that's basically, there's a lot of stuff. Now, the cool thing is, anybody who has this born, if you guys have Sun Mercury in your chart, or Mercury Uranus in your chart, you guys are known as being the smarty pants of the zodiac. I'll just say that. This is a lot of brainiac stuff. Mercury rules over the mind and mental. Uranus is like ideas, galore, and the Sun is really like a lot of confidence, power, personal power in yourself. And so when I think about all those three coming together, that could be quite good. Now, of course, you need to know where Taurus falls in your own astrological chart in order to know how this will affect you on a personal level. However, if you are a Taurus, it's going to affect you. And also, if you're one of the earth signs, this will be a good vibrational match because earth and earth, we all get along, if you're an earth sign. Now, if you are cousin to an earth sign, meaning you're a water sign, water and earth like each other. Okay, so if you're one of the earth water signs, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, you guys will be vibing with this too. I know there's a lot of Scorpios on tonight. So you guys will be vibing. This will be good. The only caveat is that Taurus and Scorpio are opposite of each other. So that could create a little tension or contentiousness because all this Taurus stuff will be opposing your Scorpio stuff. So there could be a little extra, you might have to try a little harder to make this work for you guys. Now, I love talking about the opposites because I think it's fascinating that Taurus is opposite. Taurus is material. Taurus is finances. Just to know, we're going to hear a lot about finances this week on the news. Like we haven't already, but we're going to be hearing more. And safety and security, which in the United States, in most areas of the world, you have to have money. Money is our safety. Money buys water. Money buys food. Money buys shelter. So we're going to be hearing about money stuff. And things you value. Taurus definitely rules over the second house is in an astrological chart, and that's things you value. Can be cars, boats, houses, all kinds of stuff like that. So that's all going to be highlighted. And if you guys are doing an acquisition, I know it's a little hard right now buying a home in the middle of COVID, or feeling safe and secure in the middle of COVID. I mean, we're getting a little bit challenged. And then Scorpio on the other side is things you can't really. So if you think about, Taurus is very like material. It's like this is a real thing, and it's tangible, and I can hold it, and it's solid. And Scorpio is the mystery of life. Scorpio is the unknown, and all that, kind of, it's detective work, and it can be the occult is what they used to call it in the old days, or metaphysical is the new language that we give it. But it's like mediumship work and tarot cards and all that stuff. And so this Taurus stuff is going to be challenging that axis. So what that means is we're going to be kind of possibly challenged a little bit by real life versus this sort of the unknown and all that kind of stuff. We'll have to kind of go into that real life stuff of like, do we have enough food on the table? Can we pay our electric bill? All of that type of stuff. However, getting back to the acquisition stuff, if you were to buy a car this week, it wouldn't be bad. If you were to buy a house this week, it wouldn't be bad. I mean, like, those things are actually beneficial right now, especially since none of those planets are retrograde yet. It's coming, but they're not retrograde yet. So we're not in Mercury retrograde or nothing really is retrograde except for Pluto. So, and that just happened on Saturday, but that doesn't really affect your ability to buy a car or a house or a boat or, some kind of a thing. So, yeah, a lot of it is really, it's all the unknown that we've been dealing with. Jenny just said, especially with Scorpio, on the Scorpio side of it is there's a lot of mysteries of life right now. A lot of it's unknown. Hey, my mom's on. Rita, everybody say hi to Mom. I love it when she joins. Mom is recovered mostly from COVID. My mother had COVID, and so getting back to what Jenny was saying, it's a lot of unknown. And this illness was actually born under Scorpio. Okay, the illness of COVID was born under Scorpio, and Scorpio is mysterious, and it's unknown, and it's secretive, and I've seen articles, online of COVID. 40% of people are asymptomatic, and they're covert. It's an interesting thing. It's like they're symptomatic, but they are asymptomatic, but they have a high degree of being able to transmit the disease or the virus. So if you think about a scorpionic way of attacking, that would definitely be a scorpionic way of attacking. So we have a lot of scorpionic stuff. So, but right now we're on the Taurus side of things, and it's heavily Taurus. So think about Taurus archetypally. And my mom just said, thank you, everybody. Everybody's saying good health to you. It hit her hard. She had 12 straight days of fever. I mean, it was rough. And she lost her sense of taste. She lost her sense of smell. I just read online that is often people get that because literally they're having brain swelling. Okay. So my mom, she's just went through all that. So she came back out. My mom is a double earth sign. She's a Virgo with Capricorn moon. So Capricorn is up in all this crazy stuff, the Saturn, the Pluto, the Jupiter is all up in Capricorn, so it affected my mom in that way. But luckily, I did a lot of Reiki, full-time Reiki on my mom, and a lot of prayers from you guys, and she was able to get through it, so it's good. But getting back to the Taurus thing, we got to really, really be looking at what makes us feel good, what makes us feel safe. And all that stuff. Safety and security is a big Taurus theme. A lot of Tauruses too are ruled, Venus rules Taurus. So, it's design, it's aesthetics, it's all those fun things. It can be art, it can be hiking in the woods and getting out in nature, all that grounding. It's good, I guess, in a way, like, how do I say this? Like, if the triple conjunction was taking place in Gemini, oh my God, I mean, we'd all probably be having nervous breakdowns. I'll just tell you that, because it would be so much nervous energy. At least these three, which is a lot of nervous anyway, is kind of nervous energy anyway, is kind of getting sort of grounded, almost like a lightning bolt hitting a lightning rod that grounds the energy. It's a more grounded sign, thank God, but it's still going to be a lot of energy. I know for me, all weekend, my dreams were like 3D, super vivid, super like dream world for all of us is going to get ramped up. It can be nightmares, of course, but we're going to be working stuff out, and also spiritual and intuitive insights while we are sleeping. So this definitely increases claircognizance and clairvoyance and all of that stuff. So if you guys have any predisposition to those abilities, or you're aware of the predisposition, this is a good thing. Paul said he's a Sagittarius with a Pisces moon. Nice, Paul. I have a Pisces moon also. And so this is all of that stuff. Now, the cool thing that I like about this, so just to let you guys know, I have Mercury and Uranus in my chart, my own chart, opposite each other. So I'm kind of used to dealing with this energy. Sometimes planets are on top of each other and sometimes they're opposite of each other. So I'm kind of used to having this Uranus Mercury thing. And as you guys can tell, I'm like very like, I'm always thinking of things and talking, obviously, that this is increasing all of that stuff. So they call it a transit of brilliance. So take advantage of that. Stuff is going to come fast. So when we get these, I call them downloads. When we get these downloads, they're going to come fast. So you might always want to have like a little tablet or a note thing to be able to write things down, because we're going to get all these ideas, all these downloads. If you're looking to, I don't know, do a presentation, write a book, come up with a new business plan, any kind of thing like that, because it is in Taurus. So Taurus does tend to be practical and have a practical lens. Like I just gave examples of, having enough food on the table, paying your electric bill, all that stuff. It's very practical oriented. However, when you involve Uranus or Mercury, Uranus is the wild card. Literally. So it's like any kind of crazy stuff that can happen is Uranus thing for sure. It's the wild card. So other astrologers describe Uranus always as being negative or bad. I do not at all feel that way. The nickname of Uranus is actually called the Great Awakener. It's like having 3 shots of espresso coffee. It's like zing. And it's literally, the symbol is the like a lightning bolt. So, I mean, hello, that's a lot of energy. So electricity, lightning, all that stuff. So, hey Gretchen, welcome. Gretchen's a Capricorn. I happen to know that. And so I'm loving it when you guys like and share these posts, little hearts. That's awesome. Jenny said the question is that what do we do with the download? So sometimes downloads are just an FYI from your spirit guides, from your guardian angels, from the universe, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes that's it. It's like for your awareness and bringing things into awareness, or having, I call this like light bulb moments, where we have like these new ideas and these new inspiration for things. That's really what these planets are all about. And it's going to be the next week and a half. This is going to be really active. So the key is right now, Jenny, we have really no planets retrograde. Pluto's retrograde, but that's a longer term one, and I don't feel like that's going to affect much as far as what I'm talking about tonight. This is the time to act on these things, Jenny. Like, not only write them down when we get downloads, to write them down on a piece of paper or dictate it into your phone, whatever, and then act on it. So there's a great workshop I took one time by Joe Vitale. I don't know if you guys know Joe Vitale, but he was in the movie The Secret. And he does, he's written, I don't even know, 12 books or maybe more. He's a very, very well-known self-help genre author, and he does workshops. He's a speaker, writer, all that stuff. And he talks about how when we get downloads of things or ideas about things, that you have kind of almost like, he didn't use this word, I'm using this word, a divine sort of energy around it for like 48 to 72 hours. So I always tell people jokingly, like everybody in this world has probably thought of developing a post-it note, let's say, but only one person did, and only one person acted on it. You know, they got the download. Okay, the angels, the universe will sprinkle these beautiful ideas to us, and only a few will actually act and be able to get the idea to fruition. So the good news is that we have this like bubble or period of time to act on this stuff. This is not a time, look, the rest of the year you're going to be hearing me talking a lot about wait, hold on, retrograde this, retrograde that. Everything's going to be retrograde as far as like all the personal planets are just going to go retrograde, including Venus coming up. So and then we're going to review our love lives and all that stuff, and it'll be like, don't do anything new. Make a plan, but don't act on it. That's not the conversation right now. The conversation right now is act on it. Do something with it. Even if you can't, I mean, you might not be able to finish this whole big project, but get something started. And so that's the message. Okay, so Monica said her dreams are clear. Our dreams are strong, but messages are clear, less cryptic than usual, and contain a cast of characters from your entire life. Me too. Monica, I'm having exactly the same experience. I mean, last night it was crazy. Last night I had one of those like dreams that kept going and going and going. And then I actually woke up, got up and went to the ladies' room, went back to sleep, and continued the same dream. It was crazy. Like I have the gift of having prophetic dreams that come true. And I'm also what's called a dream walker, where I actually can walk into other people's dreams. So, and then it's almost like a form of astral travel, which all of that right now is very favored. Astral travel is favored. Dream type stuff, interpretation and vivid dreaming. And claircognizance, which is just knowing, you know, you get a feeling and you just get a knowing that something is, you know, like you get an idea that pops in, or like, I don't know how I know that thing, but I just know. That's claircognizance, is having an understanding. Clairvoyance, all the clairs are going to be ramped up. This is definitely a ramping up of intuitive feelings, but the only caveat to that is it's a ramping up of anxiety as well. By the way, intuition and anxiety hold hands. I don't know if anybody realizes that, but they hold hands and they skip down the road together. So a lot of my most anxious clients are some of my most intuitive clients. Okay, so, and I'm always talking about anxiety is kind of in a way an important thing, because if you think about it, anxiety is speed. It's living too far ahead of in the future. Well, so is you know, intuition. You're living in the future. So I talk about how Teresa Caputo on Long Island Medium, she talks about this openly. I've had my own struggles with anxiety in my life. I talk about it openly. There's no shame in anxiety. However, let's do this right now. Let's talk about what's the difference between anxiety and true intuition. Let's go there, because I think this is a very important topic for this week. So, anxiety feels like a mosquito at a picnic. Bzz, 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 bzz. Okay, and it's really, really frustrating. And it kind of doesn't go away, and you keep batting it back, and it just kind of comes and bothers us. That's anxiety. True intuition kind of hits you pretty solidly and stays there. And it'll come up, and it has a much more like solid feeling. And yes, it's a feeling. And so, hi, Jackie, Virgo, welcome. So that's a big difference between the two. And the more you practice discerning which is which, okay, the more you will get a stronger idea about how to discern which is anxiety and which is your intuition. Most of the time when it's a solid thing and it doesn't, and sometimes not only is it solid, but it increases in volume over time, okay, that's intuition versus this weird mosquito, oh God, something bad, oh, no. Like that's just anxiety, and that's wasted energy. So, you know, it's easier said than done. Let that go. Let the mosquito go off to another picnic somewhere else with other people. That's easier said than done, and that takes practice. And I always say, over time, if you really start to trust your intuition and trust where the information's coming and how you're getting the information. I mean, I had to learn that over time, and many other people do, and I coach people through that, learning how to discern which is like the dark, stupid voice or the voice of the mosquito that's like, you're not gonna have enough money to pay your bills. Oh, you're not gonna succeed at that, or oh, this bad thing's gonna come. That's anxiety. Like, screw that thing. I mean, we have to just let that go. Julie, INFP, Libra here. I'm an INFJ/P, P/J, whichever you want to put it. But I have the same Myers-Briggs. So welcome, Julie. So anyway, so that's kind of, if that gives you guys an understanding, an idea. And then getting grounded, because grounded does help with all this anxiety stuff. And so it's one of those things that, we don't have to embrace this anxiety feeling. A lot of this doom and gloom stuff that we're picking up on is just collective consciousness. And that doesn't mean what's true for the world is true for you. I mean, how many times have there been an earthquake somewhere else in the world, and you weren't affected, or even something happened in your town and you weren't affected, or something happened with a neighbor and you weren't affected? Just because all of this is happening, I'm telling everybody, please respect this thing and not ignore it. However, not overly hyper identifying with it either. So it's tricky. It's a tricky balance. Gretchen said, I'm very intuitive and not unlucky to not have the anxiety. That's great, Gretchen. I'm happy for you. Hello, Amy Pisces. Yeah, I mean, they don't always walk hand in hand, but often they do. I mean, like, I'd say like 80-90% of the time they do, where a lot of intuitive, I call it precognitive anxiety, because they're, a lot of times people will get anxious right before a big global event will happen, and they'll be like, I don't know why, I feel weird all day. I don't know, I feel weird and off, and then boom, there's a school shooting, or boom, there's some kind of earthquake or some kind of a thing. And then usually, if it really was that thing, it dissipates. The whole feeling will dissipate. I always give this example because I had this like weird intuition one time that like a big star was gonna die, and like all day I was like, oh my God, this, like, and I kept checking the news and what's gonna happen. This person, I don't know who it is, but I couldn't tell who it was gonna be, but it just was like, felt big. And then that was the day Farrah Fawcett passed away, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, she's a big star, yes, for sure, but the feeling didn't go away. And then right after her death was announced, Michael Jackson's death was announced, and then it was like, oh, and it was just the anxiety, the precognitive anxiety over that event left my body. It was just completely like, clear, okay, you're good, that's the thing, you're done. And so it's interesting with these big global events, like how we get that information and that anxiety or the intuition. So it's good to know that that we can kind of, I'm talking about separating them out and not letting it affect you and take over. It's almost like I liken anxiety to a 2-year-old, and then you let the 2-year-old drive the car. No, you don't stuff the 2-year-old in the trunk either. Okay, that's not a good, healthy thing. One of my friends gave me that analogy recently, which, by the way, I would like to have him on the show tonight. I think it would be a good thing. One Monday night we're gonna do a show together. But it's one of those things that we wanna not let that 2-year-old take over. And so that's the anxiety. Micaiah said, you have anxiety bad. Tara said, she's joining tonight. Sorry, she's late. So anyway, I'm going to do some cards, and I hope that helps you guys to know that we're getting big downloads. So remain grounded, embrace beautiful, okay, various intuition insights or ideas or, information. Embrace that side. We gotta kind of let that anxiety go off. Uranus is the wild card, so it's a lot of surprises. We might even have a little mini earthquake. Ever since Uranus line, the geocentric line, which I referenced before, and I will post a picture of the map so you guys really can see a visual. Ever since Uranus line has been over New England, we've been having an increase, because I've looked at the seismic activity over New England. We've been having an increase of earthquakes. Vermont specifically, we've been having like 3.0, 3.0, 3.0 little baby earthquakes, just lasting seconds. But we have been having an increase in seismic activity all in the beginning of year 2000. So it's interesting. Uranus brings earthquakes, and we might even hear them in other areas of the world, because Uranus lines go over other areas. But the only area of the United States is affecting really is New England and also the East Coast. So I hope that helps everybody. And we have the first quarter lunar cycle coming. I don't want to forget that. And the only thing I really have to say about that is it's the first quarter lunar cycle, so meaning that we're increasing in light from the new moon, which is dark, then we're increasing in light, and then next week already we have the full moon. So we're still manifesting, guys. We're still manifesting. So some people, I always get someone that goes, oh God, I forgot to write my new moon manifestation list. When's a good time to write it if I can't write it on the new moon because I really want to manifest? Hello, first quarter lunar cycle is a great time to write the new moon manifestation list, even though it's not the new moon. It's the first quarter lunar cycle. So it's going to be taking place at 10 degrees Leo. So anybody that knows where Leo is in their astrological chart, if you are Leo, you will be feeling this moon. It's going to be on Thursday. And so that's going to be also taking place in the middle of all this. The quarter lunar cycle means it's a time that so if you think about the analogy of farming, so the new moon, new seeds, you're planting new seeds, new beginnings, all that stuff. And then full moon, you're harvesting. The quarter cycle, which is the middle, is like we're checking to see, do we need fertilizer? Do we need new soil? Is the sunlight are these planted in a good spot? All that stuff. So in other words, we reevaluate our goals and see what the deal is. So Tara, yeah, you're a Leo. You're going to get a chance to reevaluate some goals. So we can all do it. We all have Leo in our chart. Some people go, I'm not that sign, so I don't know. We all have Leo. We all have all 12 of the signs in our chart. It just depends on where it is. So, and that you guys can call me for a personal astrological session, and that would help to give you guys more of an idea. So I want to pull a card for tonight's session. And also, if anybody has any questions, you always wait to the end to post these questions. But if someone has a question, I'd be happy to help. Otherwise, we'll just talk very quickly about what do you guys need to know. Oh, and before I forget, because of all this Mercury activity, okay, it's going to be a lot of Mercury talking, thinking, writing, emailing, possibly driving, all that stuff. We want to think of the throat chakra, which is blue, okay, the color of blue. And I always say Mercury is all about, oration and speaking and writing, and all this stuff is going to be good blessings this week. So we want to make sure that we get our blue on. So if you guys have any like turquoise or sodalite or blue kyanite, we have all these. Lapis is another good blue one. I love turquoise, chrysocolla, all the blue stones. That'll help and assist, especially if you're a little shy. If you're a little shy and you have trouble speaking or connecting your heart chakra with your throat chakra, you want to be able to connect those and speak from the heart. Okay, so that's a good one. Okay, anybody have any questions? Nobody's posted anything yet, so I'm just going to do one card. What is the folks here? What do you guys need to know about this week? What's the most important thing for you that I can help to relay from the angels, the universe, spirit guides about this coming week? Oh, geez, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Gifts from God. Okay, and this one is Archangel Sandalphon. We angels bring you gifts from your creator. Open your arms to receive. And what I feel really with this card is when you open your card to receive, open your heart and your arms to receive, is what it said. this is in the form of these thoughts and these downloads and these different things that we're going to be getting in this next week to week and a half, these ideas that come. Sometimes they're ideas that are not meant to be, you know, as far as like maybe it's an idea to leave a situation or to leave a toxic relationship or to leave, you know, a bad habit behind. I mean, sometimes that's the download, and that's, you got to honor those, all those things. You got to honor. Author, hi, how you doing? He's my cousin. Everybody say hi to Arthur. He just had his birthday, Mr. Taurus. Okay, so we have love questions coming here. All right, so yeah, so Layla, yeah, this is going to be, I'll do a quick card for you for your sister's relationship. She's a Taurus. Okay, so let's do a quick card for Layla because there's a Taurus going on there. It's Taurus energies. What does Layla's sister need to know about this relationship? How will this affect her? Well, okay. Counselor. I don't know if you can see. Counselor. About her relationship. Jenny said, happy birthday, Arthur. Okay, Archangel Azrael, you are a natural counselor. Many people benefit from your guidance and reassurance. I mean, it's possible your sister needs to go to marriage counseling, okay, Layla, and needs some help or some counsel from a best friend, possibly from you, girlfriend, okay, and that's the card of counselor for your sister's relationship. They need some work, honey. I'm sorry to say, they need some work. She might get some good ideas about things and whatever, but tell her that I said to slow down. I feel like when she gets angry, mad, irritated, she goes blah, 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 and her partner's not able to process. I feel like, and because of the increase of energy and the increase of speed, okay, which means we're in the future a bit, I want you to tell your sister to slow down, because I feel like she, and we're going to make some rash decisions possibly this week, okay, just collectively, because the energy's so fast. So remember, we want to kind of slow it down a little bit. We need to get that grounding and get our feet on the ground and really feel good in our bodies, but we want to slow down because we're going to be operating at a quicker speed than some folks can really handle. Okay, and Andrea, I'm going to pull a card for you in your relationship, and then I'm going to let you all go back to your lovely Monday nights and your evenings. Let me just do really quick, what do you need to, oh, whoops, you got a fallout here. Beloved one, Andrea. This one's for you, beloved one. Okay, and this one is Archangel Chamuel. I'm helping you with your spiritual soulmate relationship. So this is a good one. Means you're getting additional help from your guides, your spirit guides, your guardian angels, and helping you with your beloved one. Okay, and just to be gentle, like this, I really feel like I happen to know you're Scorpio, and so all this Taurus energy is opposing you, so there could be a little bit, oh good, Layla said she hears me and she says thank you. Good, I'm glad that works. Andrea, I want you to be gentle and compassionate, and a little bit, there's an edge to your energy right now. Scorpios often have an edge to your energy. You guys have the little pinchers and the little, so just make sure you slow it down, because this is saying you guys are a good match and soulmate relationship and all that. She's just, Archangel Chamuel is just helping you with that. So I hope that helps with everybody. So this week, the biggest thing, I'm going to just do one more because I feel like I keep hearing some claircognizance or one of those. This week, there's a lot of transition going on, not just career transition with you guys. Could be, especially if people are out of work, right? I mean, we're talking about safety, security, and the material. Jesus, that's all that stuff, right? So I'm just going to read this because this is another Chamuel card. Archangel Chamuel is very active right now. Your life purpose is triggering a blessed career change. I know a lot of us don't feel blessed, right, during this. I mean, some of us do, and yay for us that are feeling blessed. But a lot of people are struggling. And so right now, it's one of those things that if you're losing your, My thing said poor connection. If your jobs are changing, all that kind of stuff, it means it's good. It's triggering potentially a blessed career change. It's bumpy because it's like, I don't know, nobody's hiring, this and that, and the next thing. But I know of people that got new jobs during this COVID thing. I know of people that are moving during this COVID thing. I mean, like, it's kind of crazy, but life is going on cautiously. So that's basically what is happening. So safety, security is all coming into play, but we're going to get lots of good downloads to help us to have that inner guidance and all that. So I hope that helps everybody. If you guys want a personalized astrological session with me, please send me a DM or a text message. I'd love to hear from you. And I am booking out a little bit, like a few days, a week maybe. So be patient with me. I've gotten overwhelmed. There's been a huge response, and it's been beautiful. And I love all of you for coming, giving that beautiful supportive energy, and I love you guys. And I am doing all of my sessions right now remotely, and it's working quite well. I've been doing sessions remotely for over 15 years, so it's not a problem because I'm not looking at physical energy anyway. I'm looking at your astrological chart. I'm looking at cards. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. So I don't need to tap into your physicality in order to do a reading, because I tap into non-physical energies anyway. That's how it works. So yes, Gretchen, I'm going to talk to you tomorrow. And if you guys would love to have a session, let me know. I would love to talk with you as well. So have a good night, everybody. Namaste. And remember, be patient with everybody, because everybody is right now going through their own thing. All right. Good night.